Okay guys, so this was actually highly requested in my Instagram group, Tarot London 1, and it was Princess Diana, and there were some questions she wanted to know around her situation. So this is the first time for me doing a celebrity reading, well, princess reading should I say. And I love Diana, by the way. I am slightly obsessed. She was born on the 1st of July, same birthday as me. I mean, there you go. So when I was growing up on my birthday, I used to get lots of books about Diana and the dream wedding and everything like that. So yeah, I mean, being an 80s kid, it was a huge icon for me. Right. One of the big questions was she going to marry Dodie? So I got my cards out, shuffled them. Let's see around the situation. Was she going to marry him? That's not a good start straight away, to be honest. Okay. So around the situation, straight away the devil. That means almost like a codependency there, like a toxic relationship. You can see the lovers are tied. Almost like it does come up as the bad boy, to be honest. And I did hear he was a bit of a playboy. And in a way, I feel like he caught the diamond in Diana, like the royalty that he wanted to be associated with, even though she wasn't really with the royal family and she was breaking ties. I really feel that's how he saw her, because we have the Nine of Pentacles here, which means he sees her as glamorous, like well-travelled, wealthy, dressed in finery, very confident woman, a catch. I just keep getting the word she was a catch. She was a catch for him. And elevated his social status as well, I hear, too. Now, we have the Ace of Wands, so I do feel it was actually really strong sexual connection as well. There was a lot of strong sexual energy around this. And I do feel it was kind of fighting and back and forth, and she may have struggled a bit with the cultural differences too there. And maybe I think in time he wanted her to calm down slightly, and she was really in her, like in her element then, you know, as she loves the royal family, she was coming into her own, into her charity work and everything like that. And I feel that she didn't want that, and in some ways she felt like he was trying to put his finger on her and kind of tie her down in a way. But there was a lot of sexual energy around there, a lot of codependency, like an addictive, toxic relationship as well. Like she kept getting drawn back into him, and I do feel like the lifestyle and the glamour and the way he wined and dined her was obviously appealing to her, and the way he did put her on a pedestal completely. I really feel he put her on a pedestal, but I do feel she kind of sensed some playboy tendencies in the background coming back, and I don't actually feel she'd marry him. I just don't feel she would. I do feel like if he proposed, she might have said yes, but I do feel going along, it might have been a long engagement for 2 years or something, and they would have broken up. I just don't feel she would have. We have the wish card here, so in some ways it's what she wanted, to be like rescued in a way, taken in by especially a strong, powerful family. You know, she felt they had her back and they did really, really support her. And this also says that justice, she did feel like justice had been done in the way she treated. And I feel like with Dodie as well, in a way it would have been a bit like a power couple. He would have supported her and got behind her, and in a way Dodie would quite like her to get back at the royal family, because he may have felt badly treated by them himself, or snubbed at times with certain royal family members. I just feel in a way Dodie may have a little bit of a vendetta against the royal family. So yeah, coming up to the Hangman as well here, I do actually feel, even though we have the wish card and it's almost like she's been saved and rescued and taken in by this royal, like this powerful family that can support her, I do feel with a Hangman, in time she would have let him go. She would have let him go. And she's coming up as the Queen of Cups, which we know, Queen of Cups is like Queen of Hearts, it's water sign, Cancerian, emotional. There we go, guys, we have the Death card. So I don't feel it would have lasted. I feel like the engagement, she may have got caught up in the moment and said yes, but I don't feel she would have followed through, and I definitely, definitely do not feel she would have been happy with him. So it was almost like a long extended holiday for her, in a way, emotionally and physically, just to shut down and just have fun and enjoy herself. Fuck, you know? From everything she'd gone through, I keep hearing like a joke, it was like an extended holiday with him. So that's what I get. Did she love him? I feel at times, in her heart and in her gut, she knew that it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work long term. So that's that question done for you guys. Right, next question we had was, did she feel threatened by the royal family? Now, straight away I hear, I don't feel she did directly from Prince Charles and the Queen, you know, which everybody says. I get she did from the powers that be, whatever that means, and I feel that's more to do with, you know, like the MI5 and people like that. I feel it was more like she was antagonized, I get the word, and she felt like she was being under surveillance and watched constantly. And she felt like she had to watch her back at all times, and she felt very, very paranoid. And she did feel like she knew they wanted her out. They wanted her to be not heard, you know, to be... they didn't want her on Hello Magazine doing all this charity work and things like that. They just wanted to see the back of her. But I don't feel like Charles and the Queen, like she really felt that like that from them, you know. Let's have a look at the cards. I do feel like she did feel antagonised, and she felt like she was being watched by the MI5, and she had to watch her back. She felt like she had to watch her back at all times. And I feel in a way that's why she liked being with Dodie, because he was the escape she needed from the situation, just to kind of shut off for a while and just get away from it all. He was an escape. I keep hearing he was an escape. And again, extended holiday. Extended holiday. Right. So how does she feel? I'm going about Charles and the Queen here. How does she feel about them? You know, how does she feel about what happened? This is really sad. This is the Five of Cups. So she actually feels, no matter what she said in the interview she's done about how badly she was treated, this is the card of grief and regrets over past mistakes and things she wished she could have changed, okay? She couldn't change who she was as a person, and in a way sometimes she wished she could, but that's not who you're meant to be. You're not meant to change for other people. And she said that she couldn't conform. I keep getting the word that she couldn't conform. She knew that. In some way she wished she did conform looking back, and she thought, I wish I did that, or I wish I didn't antagonise Charles doing this or that. But it's almost like it had gone on for so many years, and she felt humiliated because of everything that was going on. And with Charles, I do feel there was more than one person, by the way. There was quite a few, potentially 2 or 3. This is just my opinions, by the way. Okay, just my opinions, my thoughts, okay? Right. And she did miss the stability with the Emperor, and in some respects, being in the royal family, she was well guarded, the security, everything. And then she felt like she was left out to the wolves, so to speak, I keep hearing, and that could be the paparazzi, that when she left, that was it. She didn't have the security she had before, and she felt really vulnerable and open to people, and she didn't feel cared for anymore. So she felt very sad that it had fallen apart, and she did wish that she could have done things differently. But you can't change who you are. You can't change your personality. She was a fun-loving, caring, funny person. You know, you can't change that. But she does have regret over it, okay? And she misses the stability of being safe and guarded, I feel, okay? Now, this is actually the options card. This is almost like too many options, too many places to go. And I feel in a way this could be Charles, like he had too many options there. Rather than stick to the family, he was thinking about his career and the next stepping stone and everything like that, and moving. I don't know, it was just too many options with Charles. He wasn't just focusing on her. He had his back turned away from her, this is how I take this card, and was looking at everything else out there, and he wasn't happy. He was never happy, you know? He always wanted more. This is what I feel with this card. So this is a big issue. Because we do have, this is the family card as well. This is the family card and like the ex card and everything like that. So this is the family card. Like they had a great family unit, but he wasn't happy. He just kept looking at other things. Prettier jewels, I hear. So I don't know if that could be women she means. Then we come on to this one here. So she does miss the financial support. Should I say she did miss the financial support of the royal family as well. I feel it was completely cut when she left, and she got half, even a quarter of what she would have got to survive on for her lifestyle. And they were really monitoring her, I feel, like something like checking bank statements at times, or going into her accounts, or they had access to it to see what she'd done. And that's when she started getting really paranoid. And again, I don't think it's Charles and the Queen. I do think it's like MI5 or something. Secret Services there were checking on her bank. They had access to her bank statements and what she was spending money on. That's how I feel here. And the Moon, this is also like an illusion. Things aren't as they seem. So again, I feel like on the surface they were playing the happy families, but underneath Charles had his back away from her. He wasn't happy. He wanted more. She felt like she wasn't enough for him. You know, she wasn't enough for him. And if we go on to this one as well, the last one would be the Ten of Wands, which means she felt completely overburdened with what they expected of her. And I keep hearing not to have a voice. It's a not to have a voice, do your duties, and then shut up. And I think the thing that makes me feel the saddest about this, I could cry almost, is she missed the stability. in a way of being cared for and looked after, and the grief she felt that it fell apart. So I don't feel she felt directly threatened by Charles or the Queen. When it came to money, maybe, yes, about them cutting her loose and trying to control her through finances, yes. Puppet on a string, I just heard. So I do feel she felt like a puppet on a string and they were trying to control her. And in a way, like I said, the Dodie thing, I feel that's an escape and just to get away and just escape. And in a way, kind of stick your fingers up and say, fuck you, I'm going to do what I want. Watch this. Okay, next question was, what would she think of Harry and Meghan, in particular Meghan, their connection, and how she feel about Harry? So straight away, I mean, I feel this is, oh God, it's quite touching actually. I feel this card here is actually for her son. The love is overflowing for him. It's quite upsetting actually, but the amount of love, it's almost like the love is spilling over for him, how she feels for him, and it's almost like a hand in heaven. I know this sounds like quite full on, but coming out saying, I'm here and I've got so much love for you. And I do feel the bird that, and it's almost like a compass, that he has gone in the right direction for him, no matter what people say. Let's have a look. Yeah, we have the World. So in a way, she kind of knew he would break free from the royal family like she did, whether it be with Meghan or not. He was going to probably be more like an entrepreneur, I keep hearing entrepreneur around him. So have his own business and do his own thing. And in a way, he wanted to be successful in his own right rather than rely on the royal family, no matter what people are saying now. That's what I feel from him. We do have good news coming towards them after everything that's happened. So contract, I feel contracts is something he could be signing to start on his own and establish himself, so he doesn't have to rely on the support of the royal family anymore and have more freedom, because I feel that he still feels tied to them in the fact that he has to behave in a certain way. But if he is completely reliable only on himself and he has his own funding, then he will feel he has more freedom and he doesn't need to answer to them as much. The establishment, I keep hearing, he doesn't have to answer to the establishment. Now with the World, that does mean travel. I don't feel he's going to be back to the UK. Maybe in later life when he's forgiven, I hear, because obviously, you know, the British public at the moment are, yeah, a lot of anger there. If you read the Daily Mail, a lot of anger there. So there's so much love for him. And he's following in her footsteps, I hear. So again, going into charity work and mainly focusing on that kind of thing, but more in the same respect that he broke away from the establishment, I keep hearing, like her, and she's very proud of him. She's very, very proud of him. Now, we do have the Eight of Swords when it comes to commitment here, and I don't know how long it's going to last, to be honest, maybe 7 years. I don't think it's going to be a partner for life at the moment. I hate saying that because, you know, you never know who's going to see this, okay? They're not likely to get to see this, but you don't want to read on people living now and give them some, like, really negative news, okay? But at the moment, there's definitely a commitment issue around the relationship and somebody is not committed. And I also feel that Meghan, in a way, was never committed to the royal family. She never thought they'd accept her to begin with, and she always had that in the back of her mind. So she kind of went in with a defeated attitude to begin with, a defeated, like, they're not going to accept me, they never will. She kind of knew that going in, and I feel this is her not committing to the situation. And in a way, she wants Harry to follow her path more, to be an entrepreneur, to be a businessman, to be an entrepreneur in their own right, rather than go back to the royal family and rely on them. But I do have further down the line heartache around the situation for them. And I just feel like Diana, in a way, is sensing that they might not survive away from the family, the royal family. At the moment, I do feel he's cut off from his family to support her, obviously. But I do feel a lot of heartache around that. And I keep getting it could be 4 years until he really starts establishing himself with his brother again. I feel they are going to have secret meetings and even a trip away, just those, like a bromance. I hear the word bromance. So Diana would like them to get back together. But I do feel it's going to take a few years till they do that. And if they do, it's going to be almost like secret meetings in a way, or it's not going to be in the papers, but just those two, almost like a lad's holiday, all getting together by themselves without the wives and stuff. So she's got so much love for him. So much love for him. Business, I do feel he's going to do well. I do have a contract coming up, a hell of a lot more travel around the world for him. I don't feel he's coming back to the UK for years to come, okay? Commitment, though, I still have this commitment card about not committed and heartache. So overall, though, the message is she loves him more than anything. She's really proud he's done his own route and in a way followed her footsteps, I keep hearing. She's really, really proud of that. And for now, that will do. For now, that will do, she's saying. And she's not going too much into Meghan. In some respects, I feel she feels for her because she's in the limelight and the stuff she's had to go through with the paparazzi has been horrendous. But in another way, she is quite concerned, I feel, that Harry's stepping away too much from his brothers, not the royal family, but his brother, She's upset about that, I feel, and she just hopes that they will start to mend bonds again. They will start to again, but I feel it's going to take a few years before that happens. Okay, so what were her major lessons? What did she come here for? And straight away, let's have a look. I do feel she came, the royal family was dated, and she came to shake them up, the monarchy up. She came in to shake it up, to shake the whole thing up. I mean, we got the full here, and in a way, this is her like acting out. I keep getting, in a way, she enjoyed acting out now and again. She was quite fun to shake them up because they were so old-fashioned. There was so much dogma and crap like that. She's saying she quite enjoyed to shock. She quite liked her fashion choices and things where they might have said, "Oh, that's a bit short," or anything like that. She just wanted to come into her own element and shake up the family, make it more glamorous, make it more modern. God's sake, make it more modern. She just thought it was really, really dated. And the lies as well, the lies and deceit. She wanted to, in a way, show what it was really like living in a monarchy like that. I mean, it's so secretive. No one really knows what's going on. She wanted to show all the lies and deceit and all the stuff that goes on in the royal family, and it's not perfect, and kind of like it's all glossed over. And she came to bring truth to the establishment. I keep hearing the bloody word establishment. I've got to Google that. She wanted to bring truth to it as well. So I really do feel like she came to shake up the system, and it was a shock for everybody. And I feel like she's laughing about it. She thinks it's quite funny, especially this, for some reason, sneaking out I get as well. I feel she used to sneak out too and go to like house parties, even with people like maybe like Rolling Stones is coming up, but some kind of rock royalty. Like she'd be invited to these house parties in the country that were kind of secret. Like Sutton, what's Sutton? I've got to check that word out. But yeah, she came to shake up the royal family. She had a lot of fun doing it as well, especially when she used to sneak out and no one would have a clue. She really used to enjoy getting one over the papers as well. And, them not knowing where she was or anything like that, and causing mayhem in a way. That was in the early stages, guys, not near the end, because that's when it was just ridiculous. So I just feel here, this is the apprentice card as well. And this is the person that's a specialist in their field. And I do feel like she wanted to bring more good in her charity work. And even though the royal family might be doing charity work, it wasn't in the open. They weren't really using their power for the charity work in a way. And she had that in who she was as a person to really bring like certain things to, like, the mines in Africa. Things like that. Because of who she was as a royal, she could bring mass attention to that, and that's what she wanted to do because of who she was. So I really feel that's what she came in to do as well. I mean, if she came in as the girl down the street, just say she came in as me, it's highly unlikely I'm going to get loads of paparazzi attention for doing something like that and trying to get attention for a cause I'm working on. I'm just the girl down the street. But with her, she had a lot of power there, and that's what she came down to use it as well. But in a way, to break up the establishment, it was so dated, she keeps saying, and she wanted to shake it up with a full card. And that's what I really feel. And I feel straight away the high priestess, that she knew going into it, it's not going to be great. It was quite shocking. I feel her family, when she was growing up, were quite free and open and modern and open-minded, and she was quite shocked to go into the family when she was actually married into it. She thought, oh crap, this is what it's going to be like. And she felt so restricted and watched in her shoes and her dress and how she did her hair. And in a way, that's how she started breaking out in the early days, by doing like a certain haircut that's a bit different or a bit more modern. Little things at first, until she went full on glamorous. Remember when she danced with John Travolta? Full on glam. You know what I mean? Kind of saying, fuck you. So I really feel she came to shake up the establishment, and definitely to do her charity work, 1,000,000%. She wanted to change the royal family to make sure it's doing more good. You know what I mean? They're not just sat there in their palaces. She wanted to get the attention to certain, charities around the world. And that's what I just feel. Shake up, shake up, shake up. That's what I keep hearing. And that's it, guys.